We always do a social media roundup on a Friday, talk about the big talking points that are on people's social media. The motherhood challenge, we talked about that as part of Dad's Hour as well. This is something big on Facebook. There was the idea that you'd go on there as a mum and put on your best bits, the best moments that you'd enjoyed as a mother, the motherhood challenge. Some people did it, and then a lot of people got very upset about it, Jay. They were saying, oh, this isn't fair on people who've maybe lost a child. And you think, well, of course, there is room in the world for people to celebrate having children, as well as room in the world for people to be upset about having lost a child.
Yeah.
The things aren't exclusive. I felt quite sorry for the mums who did it in goodwill and out of celebration, only to get a load of stick for it.
Yeah, that's one of the problems, isn't it, sometimes? I think someone's used the phrase before, offence hunters. Sometimes it feels like people are deliberately going on there just to find things to be offended by. So you put anything up there, like you say, put a wonderful, lovely thing about motherhood up, and people even find a way to get offended by that. So, more fool them, I think.
The comedian Ellie Taylor did a Facebook post which got more than 100,000 shares, which was basically her doing her motherhood challenge. She doesn't have kids, so it's just 5 pictures of her asleep in bed smiling, which I thought was which is a good way of doing it, because it's essentially a taking the mickey out of people who are doing it, but it's doing it in a way which is a light ribbing.
Yeah, I quite like it, and sometimes, as I age, I do think it would be nice to have children, and I haven't got any. But then sometimes people do put posts up like that, like, oh, I've had a wonderful night because, I haven't got any screaming kids to look after. So it is nice to see it from both sides, I suppose.
Loads of stuff on social media this week. Is it fair to say, now, producer Lizzie, Matt LeBlanc from Friends, big fan of Friends?
Big fan of Friends.
Matt LeBlanc, it was announced. My wife said to me, she went, LeBlanc to present Top Gear. And I went, yeah, Matt LeBlanc. And she went, Joey from Friends. This was huge. This was exactly the sort of stuff they wanted to get out there, didn't they, when they announced it? They wanted the hype. They got the hype.
Yeah, I think before what happened today with something you were talking about earlier, which was Bobby having a dance at the Jason Derulo concert, Matt LeBlanc's just been the biggest trending thing across social media all week. He's taken this job at Top Gear. He's announced he's going to be on it. He says, I'm really honoured and looking forward to working on Top Gear with Chris Evans, Dammy's Tall, and I think the show's scheduled to return in March. So tongues have been a wagging about Matt LeBlanc.
There you go. So it's actually happening. There will be another name, we presume, added to that list. Because...
Well, they've got to get a woman, haven't they? Sure.
No, I'm all for girl power. I really am. But don't get a woman for the sake of getting a woman. Because what's the point in equality if you're getting her just to prove a point? Get her because she's the right person for it.
No, but if there are 3 people presenting, one of the 3 should be a woman. Probably 2 of the 3. So there's got to be obviously 2 men and 1 woman, or 2 women and 1 man, just for the makeup of the show. There's obviously going to be 2 men. So the third person, just out of averages across the country, there must be a woman. Surely it's going to be a woman.
To get a woman, but I don't want it to just be like a bog standard, well-known woman presenter. Get someone who knows the stuff, who knows the field, and can do a really good job of it. So then people don't go, oh, they've just got, I don't know, because Sue Perkins' name got thrown in the mix. Oh, they just got her for the sake of getting a woman.
Would they be going on just doing sort of really safe pink cars about, cars to take your child to school in and things like that? Yeah. Is that what they do?
You want to see them in the car?
No, but this would be the patch, because if they do announce a woman, they'll go, oh, they've only got a woman because it's a woman.
Well, exactly, quite.
It's lose-lose, isn't it, really?
But basically, they should get a woman.
I just think...
Why didn't they get Phoebe from Friends?
That'd be good.
That would have been...
There might be electricity.
She had that taxi, didn't she?
Yeah, and the left phalange, like I said to you earlier. She knows how to fix things.
She sure does. Roberto did almost break the internet yesterday. For so long, people were going, nah, it's not him. It's not him. And when it was dead, obviously him. It was him. It's just him. Look at him. It's like, oh, it's not him. It's not him. He was dancing and he's doing the I don't even know what the move is called.
I think I've gone for, because there's 2 moves to it. There's the bush drive followed by the car wash. Yeah. By the window wash.
And it's basically him dancing at a Jason Derulo concert. Clearly, everybody in the audience is doing the same dance. He's joining in. I'd love it. Like Roberto, young guy, quite cool guy, at a Jason Derulo concert. Would it not have been better if it had been Manuel Pellegrini or Arsene? If it had been Arsene
Wenger would have been amazing.
That would have been...
He would have broke the internet.
But I think, part of me thinks, no, Roberto, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't look out of place, did he? He looked like, he fit in there. He knew the dance moves well. He was enjoying himself. Fair play to him,
There you go. He broke the internet. Nearly. But if it had been Pellegrini or Wenger, That really would have been the one.
Brilliant.
Loads of stuff moving across social media. If, by the way, you have seen something on the internet which you thought, that was an interesting thing, maybe it's a campaign you've supported, you can tweet us or you can Facebook us through Radio City Talk or Twitter at Radio City Talk. Get involved there. There's loads of people, and a lot of the stuff that we've talked about in terms of charity work. There was the Melanoma story we were talking about at the start of the week. We've got links to that on our social media too. Skin cancer campaign. Slightly odd things that have happened on as well on the internet. The hashtag Who Will Speak for England set this up because we do a paper review every day on Radio City Talk, and it was the Daily Mail's front page yesterday.
Yeah.
Who will speak for England? And they wanted to talk about that within an EU context, but it got hijacked by the internet. What happened next, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, this was a beautiful example of kind of the traditional press versus social media and the kind of two opposing ways of taking a theme and running with it. In a typically insane front page headline for the Daily Mail, they ran almost like a sort of letter or a constitutional bill asking who will speak for England. So with all of the changes going on in the EU and all of the sort of proposed implementations on the UK from Europe, they're saying who can we send in to stand up for us, because presumably they don't think that David Cameron's doing a good enough job.
What happened, though, in terms of the other people who got on board with this one as well? Because suggestions were made about who would speak for England. Among them, I saw Kenneth Williams was being suggested. Pob, you remember Pob? The little puppet thing from a Sunday morning. And
Dot Cotton.
Roy Hodgson.
Roy Hodgson sort of does already fill that role in a way.
Well,
as the England manager.
Possibly so.
You know?
It was a strange one, this one. Which other one stood out for you as being quite amusing?
David Brent and Alan Partridge, probably two quite obvious choices. Slightly less obvious would be Paddington Bear, who I thought was from Peru originally, but someone's proposed Paddington Bear.
Possibly so.
As an English spokesperson. Bounce the spokes dog, got floated. I've got here celebrity DJ Mick Coyle said, who will speak for England, and then who will publish a story about a woman taking a dog for a walk?
Oh, yeah.
Because in that same issue...
In that same picture, they put poor old David Bowie's widow walking a dog. The dog had different coloured eyes.
And then we're going,
first time she's been pictured in public. Yeah, she's been pictured in public by you. Taking a photo of her. Don't just leave her to it. Her husband's died.
100%. And I should just say that there was a slightly sinister side to this, because they did put within the main body of this article on the front page, the Daily Mail, nobody is suggesting there are any parallels whatsoever between the Nazis and the EU. And just left a little, like a footballer, just leaving one in there with a sort of right-wing tone, really. Just left the studs in there at the end, I think.
I'm sure they've got the details of that on the Mail online. How did we cope, though, before social media? That's also been trending. And there's something which is brand new, if you're a fan of The Simpsons, a brand new search engine, which means you can basically go through thousands of old episodes and pick out your favourite moments and your favourite quotes. We'll talk about that too. It's Radio City Talk. We like to talk about social media on Friday with Jay Gavin, who is a social media guru from In Press Online.
Hiya.
What we're going to turn to next, Jay? What else has been trending on the internet that people have been talking about?
So we've got another hashtag for you here, which is before Facebook. It's actually been a week in which Facebook celebrated its birthday. It was its 12th birthday earlier in the week, and a few things kind of sprung up, both organically and sort of deliberately to celebrate that. One of them was before Facebook, so ironically it's predominantly happening on Twitter. People are using the hashtag before Facebook to talk about what life was like before the social media giant came about. So things like, before Facebook you just ate your food instead of showing it to me. Before Facebook, stalking was done in real life, not behind a screen. Before Facebook, I assumed everyone knew the difference between your and your. So, yeah, things like that.
See, nobody knew the difference, but nobody else read what everyone was writing all the time.
Scrutinised it and trolled them and had a go at them about it publicly. I agree.
Were we happier before Facebook? Before Facebook, we were all on Friends Reunited.
Look what happened there.
We were all trying to catch up with ex-girlfriends on Friends Reunited, getting ourselves into a world of bother.
Yeah, there was MySpace as well, of course.
Well, I was going to say, there was something called Face Party. There was something that people were on, and you could put something about yourself, like it was just your face and a little bit about what you liked, and people could talk to you. I think it was called Face Party, and that existed before Facebook.
Maybe he's ripped it off for all we know.
I think just largely it wasn't better or worse before Facebook showed up.
No.
Facebook is for Facebook ruining some people's lives. It's also improved people's lives. We talked about donor drives on Facebook, haven't we? We've talked about the amount of work that we get, the amount of stories that get generated through social media as well. It's definitely a force for good, isn't it?
Yeah, one of the tweets which I think a lot of people can relate to is, before Facebook, I didn't check my phone every 30 seconds. And I think if it wasn't for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all these social media sites, people wouldn't be on the phones nowhere near as much, because we'd actually all be social people and all be talking to each other probably.
But did we all talk to each other before 2005?
We tried not to, on trains and stuff. But it was harder to blag because you'd have to be pretending to read the Metro or a paper rather than just checking your phone. So it was harder to avoid people, I think, would be the way I'd look at it.
Nobody, right? I went on a lot of I went on a train to London, my first ever big trip to London in about 2002, and I sat opposite a miserable old fella the entire way down there. There was no Facebook, and I didn't have a mobile phone at the time. Sat in silence the entire time.
I think that would be absolute bliss. Absolute bliss, that sort of journey.
I think we need to go back. We need to, having had all this, get rid of it, then see if we go, oh, I'd normally be on Facebook here. Let's talk to somebody instead.
To be honest, Facebook did produce a good statistic this week, which was that there are only now 3 degrees of separation between people. So we used to have this thing we called 6 degrees of separation. We affiliate that with Kevin Bacon. But that does actually go to show that, in a sort of cheesy kind of panoramic way, it is kind of bringing the world a lot closer together, So it does have its advantages.
So there's 2 fellas doing selfies outside with iPads. There's 2 fellas trying to take independent selfies. Take a photo of each other. Can they hear us? No, they're not. It does crack me up that when people are on the tower talk.
I know.
Sometimes on Facebook, when you get people who you may know, I'm surprised by how few people I do actually know. Because I'm thinking I must know a lot of people who I'm not friends with on Facebook. But I go on that people you may know. Don't know any of them.
Yeah, no, I don't know any of them.
Never seen them before in my life. Now, you've got 900 friends on Facebook, so you should know, Lizzie, all these people.
I know. Well, it's more for me is I don't add them, but I don't, it's not like no, I know you. I know the name, and I think that's the thing with Twitter and Facebook is if you know the name of someone, it's follow. Oh, I'll add them because we work in the same building and we got in the lift that one time together. So now we're colleagues.
And now I want to know what you're having for your lunch every single day. Yeah. That's what was it called? 3 degrees of separation.
3 degrees of separation. Yeah.
Which now exists. Now, can we talk about The Simpsons?
We can.
Now, The Simpsons is my favourite TV show of all time.
Really?
And I refuse to accept that it's not the greatest TV show of all time. It's not as good as it was. Yes, all right. It's not as good as it was back in the day, but it's been on air for getting on 25, 30 years now. It's on season 26 or 27. Consistently high level. It was stratospheric in terms of how good it was. But there's a huge wealth of merchandising that comes around The Simpsons. Everybody remembers quotes from The Simpsons as well. They've made funny comments about every aspect of everyone's family life as well. There's always a Simpsons quote for it. And you can now find them because they basically put them all up on a website, like a Google search engine.
Yeah, they've invented a new search engine called Frinkiac, which is in homage to the character of Professor Fink, who does all the inventions in The Simpsons. Basically, there are 3 million searchable scenes from across the first 15 seasons. So what you do is you go along to this site, you make your search, you select one of the screen grabs that comes up, and then I believe it also gives you the option to make a meme and share that away to your heart's content on Facebook and Twitter.
Which you can. So you could then create little moments, Homer saying something funny, and then add that to your posts. It's an extra bit of comedy to your posts.
And for those who hate The Simpsons, then it's an extra special way to annoy them on a consistent basis on social media.
Oh, I'm going to do loads of this now. I just typed in monorail, you get loads of images of...
That was a good episode, to be fair. I think, as well, it does pose the question. I mean, I said it'd be good for a partridge. I'd love a partridge meme generator like
you
that.
Could do that.
Any show like The Wire or Game of Thrones, whatever it was. It'd be great to have that encyclopedic knowledge there in place.
There you go. Lyle Langley. The monorail episode, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Monorail.
There we go, he knows.
Yeah.
I watched it when I was very young. That's it.
Is there
I
a chance
don't
the
know.
track could bend? Not on your life, my Hindu friend. It's full of classic moments. There you go. Frinkiac. It's called Frinkiac.com. And it's official Simpsons thing as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's free, so I'd encourage everyone to just go and have a little look at that.
Just before you go, Johnny Cash has been trending. Johnny Cash, a very famous music artist, been gone for a number of years now, but why is his name back in social media, Jay?
Yeah, God love him, God rest his soul. A new species of black tarantula was recently discovered in the US and named Aphonopelema Johnny Cashi. Because of the traditionally black-clad singer. So the guy who discovered this was a guy called Dr. Chris Hamilton. He was doing his what's it called? I was going to say PDF then.
PhD
on, spiders. He said it's a perfect name. It fits the spider. It's found around Folsom, which is where the famous Folsom Prison song was. And the males are predominantly all black, so it fits his image, because he used to wear black clothes.
Black.
I have a Johnny Cash tattoo, so I was very happy that it worked out that way. Which to me sounds a little bit like what came first, the chicken or the egg? Did he really find this spider and think, oh, I'll do that? Or was he just obsessed with Johnny Cash? So he thought, I'm going to find a spider that looks like him.
I can't believe we've done all that, by the way, without mentioning the Milk Tray Man.
I was literally waiting for you to finish so I could bring up the Milk Tray Man.
The Milk Tray Man, he was top trending.
Trending all.
Oh, he was trending in your heart.
Oh, he was.
This guy's a fireman, right?
Fireman from Kirby, Milk Tray Man. Producer Lizzie's been like pondering. Swooning.
I did see that you put a photo up, actually. You said, good looking guy. And the Milk Tray Man's not bad either.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way you got to do it. But no, he is. But he was everywhere, wasn't he?
Yeah,
we had him on the show, and then after that, he went up big time.
And is he a nice guy as well as an attractive guy?
No, he was horrible.
Is he?
He's the nicest guy. He's a fireman. He's married. I think he had a kid. I can't remember, but his wife had entered him into competition, and basically he was the new Milk Tray Man. You can go and you can watch the video of the old Milk Tray Man essentially handing over the briefcase.
Oh yeah. And then he handed us a box of Milk Tray.
Did he?
He was very happy about it.
What a moment.
I'm just gutted that I missed the trick. I can't remember which newspaper it was, but one reporter got him to fireman lift the reporter. We should have done that, shouldn't we, mate?
What? So he could have fireman lifted you? Like how?
No, lifted you. Fireman lifted
me?
you, yeah.
I wouldn't have got any benefit from that at all. But judging by the way that you were acting when he was in the building, you may have enjoyed that.
I was very professional, I'll have you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry I missed that, but, great to have a bit of local talent trending on the global basis.
Oh, he was talent, all right.
How many people are going to go out and buy Milk Tray, though? That's what I want to know. Will that boost Milk Tray or not, do you think?
I think when people see Milk Tray on a supermarket shelf, they'll think, oh, I saw that. And he won't necessarily pick it up, but it just makes it irrelevant. It's like Coca-Cola. You think, why do Coca-Cola advertise? They do it because they think, well, you're just been maintaining your relevance. Mm-hmm. But anyway, the Milk Tray Man, he's back.
I'm sorry I missed it, really.
And he's from Kirby. Jay, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. Jay Gavin from InPress Online, producer Lizzie as well.